I've seen it countless times in my practice. Patients over 50, tired and desperate, coming in with a laundry list of symptoms, but most of them share one thing in common: they can't sleep. It's one of the most frustrating things for people in their golden years. There's nothing worse than tossing and turning for hours, staring at the ceiling, counting sheep until you've counted them all and still can't fall asleep. I've heard it over and over: "Doctor, I haven't had a full night's sleep in years." Or worse, "I wake up at 2 a.m. and can't go back to sleep." The sheer exhaustion on their faces, the sense of defeat, and the toll it takes on their overall health is heartbreaking. But here's the thing: I'm not just talking about the occasional restless night. For many of these patients, this is their reality. Night after night. And for some, it has been this way for years. It doesn't just affect their energy levels, it affects their physical health, their mental well-being, and their relationships. Sleep deprivation is no joke, and when it's chronic, the consequences can be dire. So, I always ask, have you tried changing your nighttime routine? Have you tried drinking something different before bed? Most people look at me with a confused expression. They've tried the obvious solutions: cutting out caffeine, limiting screen time, maybe even trying some herbal teas. But somehow, nothing works. And that's when I bring it up, the one thing that has worked wonders for many of my patients, including those who had resigned themselves to sleepless nights forever. "Drink this instead of water before bed," I tell them. The response is usually a skeptical raise of an eyebrow, and then the question I get all the time: "What is it, and how does it work?" I smile, knowing I've just piqued their curiosity. What I'm talking about isn't some trendy supplement or a new age miracle potion. It's something much simpler, something you can easily incorporate into your evening routine. A drink that can calm your body and help you drift off into the deep, restful sleep you've been craving. This drink isn't full of caffeine, sugar, or anything harmful. It's natural, soothing, and surprisingly effective. You see, as we age, our bodies change in many ways, and so does our sleep. Our sleep patterns get disrupted, and we're more likely to experience periods of wakefulness during the night. In fact, studies show that the body's production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating sleep, begins to decrease as we age. This makes it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. If you've ever tried to fall asleep on a hot, muggy night without the right conditions, you know exactly how your body can fight you. But the trick to a good night's sleep might just lie in what you drink before hitting the pillow. That's why I always recommend this simple remedy: warm, unsweetened chamomile tea. It's not a magic bullet, but it does something incredibly important: it calms the nervous system and helps promote relaxation. Chamomile is known for its mild sedative properties, which can help soothe your body and prepare it for sleep. The warmth of the tea relaxes the muscles and can ease the tension that builds up during the day, especially for those who suffer from anxiety or stress. As we all know, stress is one of the biggest sleep disruptors. The key is not just the chamomile itself but the ritual, the act of winding down, creating a calming routine that your body can associate with sleep. I've had patients come back to me, after weeks of using chamomile tea before bed, and tell me that they're sleeping deeper than they have in years. And the best part? They're waking up feeling refreshed, not groggy or sluggish. That's the power of deep, restorative sleep, sleep that truly recharges the body and mind. However, as with anything, there's a caveat. It's not just about drinking chamomile tea and hoping for the best. Sleep isn't something that happens overnight, especially if it's been disrupted for years. But the good news is that with the right lifestyle changes and the right nightly ritual, anyone can get back to a better sleep cycle. In addition to chamomile, there are a few other tricks I've shared with patients that help them get into the right mindset for sleep. Avoiding screens, limiting heavy meals too close to bedtime, and practicing deep breathing or light stretching before bed can all help prepare the body. But that's just the start. It's about being consistent, about setting the intention for better sleep, and giving your body the time it needs to adjust to a healthier routine. Many people are surprised to learn that sleep isn't just a passive state of being, it's an active process, and the environment you create before bedtime plays a significant role. So, my advice is simple: try this drink, try these habits, and see how your body responds. And when you wake up the next morning, you might just find that the world feels a little bit brighter and your energy a little bit more steady. Now, I want to share some insights from my practice about why sleep gets so much harder as we age and why chamomile tea can be a game changer for so many. Let's take a deeper look at the science behind it all. The more I studied sleep, the more fascinated I became by how complex and delicate the process truly is. We often take it for granted when we're younger, but as we age, sleep becomes elusive. And the reasons are tied to changes in our bodies, specifically in our hormones, nervous system, and circadian rhythms. When these systems fall out of sync, we end up with disrupted sleep patterns. For starters, melatonin is crucial for sleep. As I mentioned earlier, melatonin levels decrease with age. But what many people don't realize is that this decrease doesn't happen suddenly, it's gradual. Over time, your body becomes less efficient at producing melatonin, which is why older adults often find it difficult to both fall asleep and stay asleep. But here's where it gets interesting: chamomile tea contains natural compounds that can help support the body's melatonin production. The flavonoid apigenin, which is abundant in chamomile, binds to receptors in the brain that promote relaxation and sleepiness. It's not as powerful as melatonin itself, but it works in a similar way by calming the nervous system and helping prepare the body for sleep. Beyond just chamomile's calming effects, there's another reason why it works so well, because it triggers a process in the body that encourages relaxation. One of the key factors that disrupts sleep as we age is the overactive fight-or-flight response, which is triggered by stress. Chronic stress, especially when it's not managed properly, leads to higher levels of cortisol in the body. Cortisol is a hormone produced by the adrenal glands, and it's directly linked to stress. High levels of cortisol in the evening prevent the body from winding down, making it difficult to sleep. But chamomile tea can help counteract that. It works by helping reduce cortisol levels, making it easier for your body to enter a more relaxed state. And that's the true beauty of chamomile: it's not just about making you feel sleepy, it's about addressing the root cause of many sleep issues, including stress and anxiety. By now, you may be wondering how something as simple as chamomile tea can lead to such profound changes in sleep. The truth is, it's not just about the tea, it's about the ritual, the routine, and the science behind calming your body in preparation for rest. When I began recommending chamomile tea to my patients, I quickly realized that the real magic wasn't in the tea alone, but in the complete shift in how they approached their nighttime routine. We've all heard the expression, "You are what you eat," but when it comes to sleep, I like to say, "You are what you do before bed." The habits we form during the evening directly impact our ability to fall asleep and, more importantly, to stay asleep. In my practice, I see far too many people who go to bed with their minds still racing. Whether they're worrying about work, relationships, or finances, their brains just don't seem to turn off. And that's where things start to go wrong. What I've come to understand over the years is that sleep is about more than just your body being tired. It's about creating the right mental environment and giving your body the tools it needs to relax and shut down. You can't simply expect sleep to happen if you're still mentally wound up from the day. This is why a change in your evening routine can work wonders. Now, back to the tea. Drinking chamomile before bed is just the beginning. The real power lies in making it a part of a routine that signals to your brain and body that it's time to wind down. I recommend drinking a cup of warm chamomile tea about 30 minutes before you plan to sleep. But the magic happens when you combine that with other habits that promote relaxation. For example, dimming the lights an hour before bed can cue your brain that it's time to start winding down. Exposure to bright lights, especially blue light from screens, can disrupt your circadian rhythm and make it harder for your body to produce melatonin. That's why I suggest turning off electronic devices and replacing them with calming activities. Whether it's reading a book, listening to soft music, or practicing some light yoga or meditation, these activities send signals to your brain that it's time to prepare for sleep. But perhaps the most important part of the evening routine, and one that many people overlook, is the importance of setting an intention for sleep. We often get so caught up in our busy lives that we forget the simple act of letting go. Before you slip under the covers, take a few moments to breathe deeply, clear your mind, and consciously tell yourself that you are ready for rest. This can be incredibly powerful in resetting your mind and preparing you for deep sleep. I've had countless patients tell me that adding just a few of these small changes to their nightly routine made a world of difference. They no longer find themselves tossing and turning, and they wake up feeling more refreshed, energized, and ready to face the day. But it's not just the individuals with sleep problems who benefit. People who thought they were already sleeping okay report feeling more rested than they have in years. The bottom line is that sleep is not just about the quantity of hours you get, it's about the quality of those hours. And when it comes to improving quality, you need to address more than just the physical aspects of sleep. You have to address the mental, emotional, and environmental factors as well. This is where the routine, along with the chamomile tea, becomes the key to unlocking deep, restful sleep. I can't stress enough how important it is to make your sleep routine a priority. As we get older, our bodies need more than just a passive approach to sleep. We need active, intentional care to ensure we get the rest we deserve. Many of my patients are surprised by how quickly they notice the effects once they've made a few changes. Some of them, who had been taking sleep aids for years, report that they were able to sleep without medication for the first time in ages. The power of a natural, consistent routine cannot be underestimated. But what happens if you don't take these steps? Unfortunately, continued sleep deprivation can have a ripple effect on your overall health. Research shows that lack of quality sleep can lead to higher risks of cardiovascular disease, weakened immune function, and even cognitive decline. And if you're already dealing with chronic health conditions, poor sleep only makes things worse. This is why I believe addressing sleep should be one of the first steps in improving your overall well-being. And here's the exciting part: sleep doesn't have to be a lost cause. You don't need to accept restless nights as your new normal. With the right habits, you can regain control of your sleep and start feeling the benefits in every area of your life. Whether you're dealing with stress, chronic pain, or just the natural changes that come with aging, improving your sleep can be the missing link to better health. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final piece of advice. Sleep isn't something to be feared or avoided, it's something to be nurtured. If you've been struggling with sleep, take the time to invest in a healthy nighttime routine. Start with something simple, like a warm cup of chamomile tea, and build from there. You'll be amazed at how quickly your body and mind will respond. Remember, sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And the sooner you start prioritizing it, the sooner you'll experience the revitalizing, restorative sleep that you deserve. So, don't wait. Make that first step tonight, and let your body rest the way it's meant to.